Good evening. Welcome to the Buck Stops here. I'm Vishnu Show. We have a packed show for you this evening, but first some images of Rajpath and of looking down in Rajpath, shot, I believe, from the Rashtrapati Bhavan side. This was put up on Twitter, in fact, by the account of the President a little while earlier on. Rashtrapati Bhavan. That's the view from there. Rajpath beautifully lit up this evening ahead of Republic Day. Our first debate this evening, the Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar reveals a bombshell. He says several Prime Ministers have wasted away India's deep assets. He's talking about spies and India's covert ability to strike high-value targets. He's not spelled it out in as many words, however. The big question tonight, the Defence Minister's deep assets bombshell, was national security compromised by some Prime Ministers? Also coming up, Kumar Vishwas, poet and entertainer and Arvind Kejriwal's right-hand man, tells me about how inner-party democracy within the Aam Aadmi Party means that he can even praise the Prime Minister on occasion. But his big focus at the moment, Kiran Bedi, who he says was always sympathetic to the BJP, even when she was part of the India Against Corruption crusade. We then debate what Kumar Vishwas has had to say and how he's targeting Kiran Bedi. Has the Aam Aadmi Party actually been rattled by the BJP's chief ministerial candidate? That's what we'll be looking at this evening later on. First, our top story, the Defence Minister's bombshell. How Prime Ministers in the past affected India's security by compromising deep assets built up over decades. Just who was Parrikar speaking about? We'll tell you that in a while. The Congress party certainly wants an explanation.
Deep assets are assets which has to be created over 20 years, 30 years. सुदैवाने इथं या देशात असे प्रधानमंत्री होऊन गेले की जे डीप असेट सुद्धा कॉम्प्रोमाइज केले, ते नाव घेत नाही. अनेक लोकांना माहिती आहे.
A bombshell by Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar, without naming anyone, accusing former Prime Ministers of compromising spies stationed abroad. Parrikar made the allegation when asked if he would provide proof in the Porbandar terror boat case, where India claimed a threat had been averted after a Pakistani fishing boat destroyed itself in Indian waters.
24 तास एक बोट एका जागेवर टिकते. Is it not enough proof? तुम्हाला काय आम्ही इंटरसेप्ट केलं नाही पाहिजे? मला विचारलं, मी म्हटलं नाही देणार, येऊ शकत नाही, कारण द सोर्स माइट बी कॉम्प्रोमाइज. कारण शेवटी you have to build assets and you have to build deep assets.
With 9 of India's 17 Prime Ministers from the Congress, the party demanding Parrikar substantiate his controversial claim.
What does he mean by deep assets? Is he talking about strategic assets? Is he talking about intelligence assets? He should come out with the evidence, or he should take his statement back and publicly apologize. You cannot tar the former Prime Ministers of India, irrespective of whichever party they belong to, with a black brush.
The Defence Minister of India speaks in the interest of India, and if he says anything, there will be a gravitas or a reason behind it. There will be facts or substance behind it.
Deep assets are spies who are stationed abroad, most often in an enemy nation. And so, even as Parrikar may have simply wanted to target the opposition, in the process, he has also conceded that yes, India did place or nurture spies abroad, something which no nation has officially ever acknowledged. In Mumbai, with Sudhiranjan Sen, Tejas Mehta for NDTV.
So has national security been compromised by previous Prime Ministers? Joining us to debate this, Subramaniam Swamy, the BJP leader, Sushant Sareen, the strategic affairs expert, C.R. Keshavan, national spokesperson of the Congress, and Amarjeet Singh Dulat, former research and analysis wing chief. I'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Mr. Swamy, I'll come to you first. He was basically referring, was the Defence Minister, to I.K. Gujral, right? And his decision when he was Prime Minister to fritter away spies that we deployed outside and abroad.
I don't know who he was referring to, because I think he was very careful in not referring to anybody or in giving any indication. If you go by press, of course, Indian Express once had a long article on Gujral compromising on our deep assets in Pakistan. I think he was really speaking about the fact that the media and the Congress party was demanding why he was not giving proof on why those boats which came, which the Navy exploded, why he was not giving the proof that they were really terrorist boats, because the Congress party made out that these were just fishing boats and we blew them up and claimed it was
it is in that context.
It is in that context that he said it, and he said we have to be very careful because in past prime ministers have knowingly, and he didn't use the word knowingly, unknowingly, but I do know that one case, the unknowingly, prime minister did indicate to the other side that we knew what they thought we didn't know. And that was when Morarji Desai warned Zia-ul Haq not to go ahead with the production of the atom bomb.
Yeah.
And Zia-ul Haq protested, saying that they were not. He says, I know all about it, you are doing it. And Morarji, of course, you see, did it because of ideological reasons, because he at that time even told me that he had ticked Zia-ul Haq off.
And the end result was that
all our raw agents were killed. Yes.
Yes.
That's right.
And this was the Prime Minister compromising national security.
It is not the deliberate compromising.
It was a mistake of the highest order.
Well, I wouldn't say it's a mistake of the highest order in the sense that there was no intention to do that, but I think Parrikar is being a highly educated man, he understands all these things. So he said, I didn't allow the identification of how I knew the boats from Pakistan were terrorist boats.
Mr. Keshavan, are you satisfied with this response from Dr. Subramaniam Swamy? Do you believe he's answered the question?
We need a response.
Yes.
Vishnu, we need a response from Manohar Parrikar, not Dr. Subramaniam Swamy. First thing is this, you remember this is the same defense minister in November when there were serious incursions in Arunachal Pradesh. He flippantly said this is not a serious issue, it's a small issue. So he's been prone to erratic statements. And the kind of generalization he's made today, I mean, it's very unbecoming of a defense minister. He's made allegations without substantiating any of them with either facts, details or evidences.
Why do you say so? Is it not a fact that, is it not something that has been reported in dozens of articles that IK Gujral gave away India's ability to strike targets covertly outside our borders?
Vishnu, why is he bringing up IK Gujral now? In what context? Does he want to score points in the Delhi election? Let me tell you one thing first. I want to make 2 points. First thing is this. Regardless of whoever the Prime Minister is, we may differ with other parties on ideology, but to insinuate a former Prime Minister is unpatriotic is extremely wrong. I think it's very, very sad and it is very
I'm not sure it's a question of patriotism. I think it's a decision which was made and criticism of a decision.
Vishnu, you're second guessing that. The person who's made the irresponsible statement has not opened his mouth. How can you surmise and second guess what has he meant?
I think this...
is it an issue of patriotism? Are we questioning Gujral's patriotism? Is that what this is about?
No, he never referred to Gujral at all. He was talking about the fact that the Congress party was demanding information on what basis we claimed that the boat which we blew up was in fact a terrorist thing, and he said that would compromise our deep assets, and in the past sometimes the prime ministers have done that. Now I know that the Congress party is a little annoyed with Parrikar because he is not rubber stamping all their previous purchase decisions of aeroplanes and tanks and so on, and he is having it reviewed. So the Congress party is a little upset because those were all corrupt deals. So now they are taking it out on
now
Parrikar.
We are talking about something else, sir.
Vishnu, 2 points.
Yes.
Vishnu, I want to make one point to Dr. Swamy.
Very briefly, yes. Then I have my other panelists.
First thing is this, Mr. Parrikar talked about compromising deep assets. What about the human assets of 39 construction workers who have been long gone in Iraq? The government is clueless about that, and he's talking about compromising assets and former prime ministers.
All right, Mr. Keshavan and Dr. Swamy, we need to stick to the subject. This is a very important subject. We cannot be speaking about something else.
The deal ban has been lifted by this
No, sir. Mr. Keshavan, I don't like to interrupt like this, but we need to speak about a serious issue because we've got an expert like Amarjit Singh Dulat, the former RAW chief, with us. So once and for all, sir, why don't you tell us the truth, sir? We had a capability and it's now gone. Is that correct?
No, this whole thing, about deep assets. Let me say this, that prime ministers don't know about deep assets and they don't get into the nitty-gritty of operational work. I think what the defense minister is implying is that there have been certain prime ministers, or maybe he's targeting a particular prime minister, who hasn't taken sufficient interest in these matters. Now that has varied from prime minister to prime minister, and I can say without any hesitation that no prime minister has taken provided more encouragement and support to the agencies than Rajiv Gandhi did. He was fascinated by intelligence.
So then what happened at the time of IK Gujral?
You see, if you're talking about Mr. Gujral, he would not know about deep assets, you know. It may be there was a difference in priority that, you know, okay, we don't need to do A and we could do B instead, or we will not do
but Mr.
A.
Dulat, let's try and break.
But let me tell you one more thing. Let me tell you one more thing. There is a bottom line somewhere. And let me say that government policy has not changed with regard to the agencies all through these years. And the bottom line is that we do not indulge in extrajudicial killings like some of the other agencies do. You know, for instance, in Kashmir, it is well known that the ISI targets everybody who steps out of line. And we have not touched even our bitterest critics in Kashmir. So there is a bottom line there. And as far as deep assets go, as I said, prime ministers don't concern themselves with these matters. And nor do intelligence chiefs tell them who their assets are.
Mr. Dulat, I know you can't say very much, obviously, on this subject as a former RAW chief. I'm just asking you a simple, straightforward question, sir. Did India have a certain capability to eliminate high-value targets, which got lost along the way because of the acts of certain leaders? Yes or no, sir?
No. This has never been our policy to eliminate anybody.
So what about targeting, what about, and you spoke about Rajiv Gandhi, at the time of the Khalistan movement, sir, there were two wings within RAW which were set up. One was to look at potential targets within the Khalistan movement in Pakistan. One was to look at potential targets within Pakistan in general terms. I am told, sir, that these were the units which subsequently evolved into a bigger shape. This was taken out. You spoke about Rajiv Gandhi. Whenever there were attacks in Punjab, there were attacks which took place in Pakistan as well. Sir, these were capabilities that have existed. I'm quoting open source literature on this, sir.
Oh, that's all right. Attacks, general attacks, there may have been attacks somewhere, but nobody has ever been targeted in killings. That's what I'm trying to say. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, it's a fine line between targeted killings and hitting terrorists in their lair, as it were. But let me go across to Sushant Sareen, who joins us. Mr. Sareen, bottom line, India is not an Israel. We may have aspirations of being a regional power, but we still end up having discussions like this when other countries believe that it is their birthright to strike at terrorists and those who attack their nation. We debate it, sir. That's all we do.
Well, if you look at Agent Vinod and some of the other movies, that's not all we do. But on a more serious note, you know, you don't expect Mr. Dullat or anybody else to actually say what are the other kind of covert operations
just worth a try, sir.
These guys might be doing. So the thing is, and you know, I think this reference to Mr. Gujral is very unfair, because to insinuate that he revealed certain deep assets or compromised the nation's security, I think that is a scurrilous charge on a very honourable man. The fact of the matter remains that if you speak to people, one second, let me just say something.
Nobody has made it here.
So I raised the name. I raised the name.
You've raised the name, but that's what I'm. A lot of people.
I don't know if he disagrees.
Vishnu, a lot of people have mentioned
that's
about
a separate
him,
issue.
and
But he didn't.
This is the urban legend.
Yes.
this is the urban legend, but I think it needs to be clarified that just because Mr. Gujral maintained social graces when he interacted with the Pakistanis doesn't mean that, you know, he was indulging in some kind of treachery and revealing the deepest secrets of the nation. And I agree with Mr. Dullat. Prime Ministers generally take a, you know, decision in principle and leave the nitty-gritty of an operation to the agencies and to the operational people. They don't involve themselves with which guy is going to go where and how and whom he is going to meet and what his assets are. Now, the thing is that there could have been a time, and this is now purely speculation and conjecturing, there could have been a time where, as a result of a quid pro quo, because the Pakistanis or some other country gave you what you wanted, you gave them what they wanted. But that would not be done at the level of a Prime Minister.